Hi, I'm Allie,
And I'm Matt.
and we are from Bakersfield, California, and we recently quit our jobs and are now traveling the Americas in our big red van, Clifford.
So we converted Clifford in about 6 weeks, so we definitely did it in a hurry. We tried to capture as much footage as we can, but if you have any questions about how we built something or how we did some piece of the van, please leave us some comments or questions. We'd love to make more videos detailing exactly how we did it.
So we're replacing the rear weather stripping.
We're going to replace as much weather stripping as we can because our van is pretty old. And
The old weather stripping was looking a little beat.
yeah, I mean, some of it was okay, but it definitely had some tears. Like here. So, in order to try to stay cool and stay warm, I figure we'll try to limit the draftiness of the van and keep it dry. So, we had to order a factory replacement for the rear because it's kind of a different kind. It presses into this channel right here. So yeah, I was able to find that online on Amazon, I think, for like 50 bucks. And then we got some like generic aftermarket stuff that should do the side door or like the sliding door, and I think it'll do the passenger and driver door as well. So we're gonna test fit that after we finish putting this in.
So what was the trick with this one? The slits go on the bottom.
I think so. It came with two little like pockets almost in it, and I think these are to drain water from all these little holes. So if water gets into the inside of this rubber, that it can flow down and get out. Not 100% sure on that, but I can't think of what else they would be for. So we put them both like, kind of in the corners on the bottom, and then we're working our way around to the top. So we finished our weather stripping, and now we're concerned we may have done it opposite of what we were supposed to do. So we may have it flipped upside down. So the bottom is installed up here and the top is installed down there. And the only reason we're starting to think that is when we started to close the door is really tight, especially up at the top. And we have, it makes like a transition here where we were talking about those pockets. And it seems like where this closes, we have like a little lip that hangs over the door. And I'm thinking that might supposed to be at the top to keep water running on the outside of the door, as opposed to the way it fits right now at the top. I mean, it fits tight up against the weather stripping, but obviously that lip's not there. And that's the only thing I could think that would be for, plus the fact that this didn't close well.
Back at it.
But yeah, I don't know. So we're deciding whether we want to flip it or not. It was kind of a pain to get in. It wasn't too awful, but it wasn't super easy either, so unfortunate. But so in a video we were talking about installing new rear door weather stripping. Turns out that we actually installed it upside down the first time, so we had to pull it out and flip it around. The slits and the wider section with the lip hang over the top, and you can see the reason for that. When the door's shut, the top weather stripping hangs over the top of the door, preventing any water from going in the top. So once we had it in here and the door shut, it kind of made sense. It didn't fit well at the bottom, and it was kind of loose at the top. Once we flipped it around, it seemed to fit about right. So, all right, so I already got part of the way through this, but figured you guys might want to see what I'm doing. So there are all of these marks on both sides of our T1N Sprinter, and I'm not 100% sure what they're from, but I'm assuming it's something, you know, potentially manufacturing or something else, since it's kind of symmetric and on both sides. Anyway, it was getting a lot of rust in here. I've already cleaned out these 4 here with this wire wheel on my grinder. Also down in this groove here, and I think it's just because this area kind of collects some water. Obviously there's a drain here that was pretty plugged up, still kind of is. So I'm going to clean out all the rust here come back in, primer and paint that, and then clean out that drain hole and hope that this thing is good to go. All in all, our car has very little rust, but this is one of the areas I did find it. In a few places that they made holes in the back of the cargo bay for mounting the floor and things like that. So I'll show you whenever I fix some of those. All right, and here's what we're cleaning up. This is the passenger side. Not quite as bad as the driver's side, but you can see there's a rusty, quite a bit of bare metal showing here and here. Yeah, not quite as bad, just some scuffs here. So we're gonna grind some of that out, get this cleaned up. I'll show you what it looks like after spinning. All right, so here's the aftermath. I cleaned out most of those. I tried to be careful around these. I didn't use the grinder just because I got to screw the floor plate back into that little plastic fitting. I'm sure that would come out if I wanted it to, but I just cleaned up all this. I used sandpaper to go over this and some of these other like small chipped areas that aren't quite through the metal. I couldn't see any rust. I went over it with some 100 grit sandpaper. Then I vacuumed out all the debris, made it nice and clean, and then I'm gonna come back in with I got some Rust-Oleum farm equipment, and the red matches pretty good, so I'm just gonna spray all this and probably give it a couple coats tonight. I'm gonna go work on the other passenger door, but yeah, that's basically it. Just get everything down in clean metal, nice and shiny, go from there. We wanted to install a bike rack on the back of the van, so in order to do that we had to install a trailer hitch first. We ordered a 2-inch trailer hitch from Kurt that was supposed to be bolt-up fitment, but when it arrived, turns out we had to do some modifications and cutting on a piece of the step bumper for the van. The kit also required us to do some significant drilling of the frame rails underneath the van to install some additional bolting. We opted not to do this because we weren't planning to tow anything heavy with the van, but only install a bike rack, which will be holding a couple of bikes.
Today we're putting on the hitch. What'd you have to do yesterday to prepare for this?
I had to cut a piece of the step bumper off. So it has like a little support here for this little toe loop. So I pulled the step bumper off and used angle grinder and a cutoff wheel.
You want to take him down there?
You
want to take him down there and show him when you're down there?
Yeah, sure.
Hey there.
Heat. It's right here. So you can see where all the grind marks are. Originally I was going to cut this all the way off. This used to go all the way up to here, but when I pulled it down I test fitted with the hitch and I just had to notch out a section. So I used the cutoff wheel to cut off this piece of the support, and that's it. I don't know if you can see it, but
yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
This piece used to run all the way up to here, but I cut it along that and across to make room for this hitch to fit up in there.
And this hitch was specifically designed for a 2006 Sprinter?
It was, yeah.
And it came not designed for a 2006 Sprinter?
Well, yeah, they tell you it's just bolt up, and then in the instructions it says 158-inch step models have to modify the step bumper.
No big deal.
MBD. Luckily, I was capable.
Yeah, you
We'll
did
see.
it.
See if it all bolts up now.
Let's put her up.
Yeah.
If you like this video, what should you do?
Subscribe!
Subscribe! Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions, if you're like, what the heck, what did they do? They skipped over this part. Hit us up. We'll make sure to respond. Oh, Amber, you're such a good girl.